Hello and welcome to Circle Time. Would you like to help me feed Fred today? Hi, Fred. How are you today? Ooh, Fred is so excited to see you. Well, today we're going to talk about the letter H. Do you have an H in your name? If your name has letter H, stand up. I have a letter H. If your name has letter H, stand up. If your name has letter H, if your name has letter H, if your name has letter H, stand up. Well, H is for hot air balloon. To decorate the letter H, I just colored the bottom like a basket, and then I made some colorful stripes at the top to look like the balloon. So this is the letter H. And there's little h. Now that we can name it, we can recognize it, we'll practice writing it. So to write the letter H, you just need 3 lines. You need a number 1 and another number 1, and you need a line across the middle. So 1, 1 across. That's how you make a big letter H. 1, 1 across. 1, 1 across. 1, 1 across. To make the little letter H, you're going to need to make 1 hop. Will you help me hop? 1 hop, like a bunny rabbit. 1 hop. Let's do it one more time. 1 hop. Well, that's how we make the little H. We just make a number 1, and then we hop over. 1 hop. Let's try to make the little letter H. And don't forget, you can skywrite if you want to, and if you don't have paper right now. Make a number 1, and then hop over downstairs. 1 hop. 1 hop. 1 hop. Well, I know you did a great job with handwriting. You were listening and learning, and I'm going to give you a sticker. Next, it's time to talk about the sound that letter H makes. Letter H makes the sound. It kind of sounds like me when I'm breathing hard after I've been running. So let's do that to help that sound stick. Let's stand up and run, 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 run. But when I say come back over, and we will see how we're breathing. All right, are you ready? Get set, go, run, 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 run. Run faster, run faster. Run, 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 run. Like Sonic the Hedgehog, run. Okay, come back. Let's see how we're breathing. That's the sound that letter H makes. Like when you've been running and you're breathing really hard. Well, for art today, we're going to make a hot air balloon. So let's go over to the art table and I'll show you how. For our art project today, you're going to need a piece of blue paper. That's going to be the sky, the background. And then if you want to, you can cut out some white shapes that look like clouds, and you can glue those to your paper. And now for the hot air balloon. So we're just going to take a piece of paper. I'm choosing orange, but I don't think it matters, whatever color you want. And brown would be great because this is going to be the basket. but I didn't have brown, so I'm using orange. We're going to cut out a square, put that at the bottom. And then we're going to use string, or you can use a marker and draw the ropes on the side of the basket. So we're going to get all this glued together. So 2 ropes here, and then glue your basket on. And then the next thing you can do is get a cupcake liner. If you don't have a cupcake liner, just cut a circle. But a cupcake liner makes the perfect circle when you spread it out for the balloon part of your hot air balloon. So you can get all this glued down on your paper, and there you have it, a hot air balloon. Well, it's time now for a science activity. For our science activity, we're going to inflate a balloon, and we're going to use a chemical reaction to do it. So I'm just going to put a balloon on the end of this funnel, and then I'm going to put some baking soda inside the balloon. Just going to pour it right in. Get some more. I want the balloon to be nice and full so it can really inflate well. Just make sure that pokes all down into the balloon. Getting there. I think I'll put some more. Okay, let's get that to go down into the balloon. Okay, that feels great. Okay, so now the next thing I'm going to do is take a water bottle, and I'm going to fill it halfway full with vinegar. Just white vinegar. About halfway. All right, so now next, I'm just going to take the balloon, and I'm going to stretch it over the mouth of the water bottle, making sure it's secure. And then finally, I'm just going to release the baking soda down into the bottle, and you can see what's happening. The balloon is starting to get bigger. Whoa, that's pretty cool. It's getting bigger and bigger. And if you look closely, you can see lots of bubbles. Those bubbles are carbon dioxide bubbles. When baking soda and vinegar mix, that's what happens. Carbon dioxide bubbles are formed. Pretty cool. It's still getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Well, that was our science activity for today. And now it's time for art. No, not for art, for story time. We just did art. So for story time today, we're going to be reading a book that's called Curious George. Up, 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 and away. It was a beautiful day in the country. Miss Rankins was excited to show her hot air balloon to George, Bill, and the man with the yellow hat. But as George ate his blueberries, he looked around and wondered, where was the balloon? Miss Rankins turned on a big fan. George could feel the air blow on his face. The large cloth on the ground began to billow. The fan is inflating the balloon, the man with the yellow hat explained. George saw the balloon taking shape. Next, Miss Rankins turned on a flame, and as hot air filled the balloon, it began to float up. Bill told George that hot air rises, so when the flame is lit, the balloon lifts off the ground. In all his life, George had never seen a balloon so big. Bill invited George to take a ride in the balloon. Let's do some bird watching. We won't go too far since we're tied to the ground with this rope. George climbed aboard. but his foot released the rope. The balloon sailed up, 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 and away. The man and Miss Rinkins were so worried. How would they get Bill and George down? They jumped into Miss Rinkins' truck and sped after the balloon. Maybe the man could grab the rope and save George and Bill, but the man couldn't reach the rope. From up above, George could see his house. They were traveling so fast and far. George had to do something. He saw a wheel and thought he could steer the balloon back to the Rankins' farm. He had always wanted to drive. As he turned the wheel, the flame got bigger and the balloon rose higher. "George," said Bill, "you're filling the balloon with more hot air." Now the balloon floated over a lake. On the other side of the lake, a policeman offered to help the man catch the balloon. They rode as fast as they could so the man could reach the rope. The man grabbed the rope with both hands, but instead of stopping the balloon, now he was flying too. "Don't worry, George," he called. "I'm coming to get you." George was happy to see his friend, but Bill was worried. What would happen now? The man couldn't hold on to the rope. He landed on a pile of hay. A friendly horse gave him an idea. Up above, Bill was getting really worried. "George," he said, "the wind is blowing us out to sea." But George wasn't worried. He was having fun feeding the birds some of his blueberries. George noticed that one of the birds was trapped inside the balloon. George pulled the lever that opened the top vent so the bird could get out. As the hot air escaped through the vent, the balloon sailed toward the beach. The balloon was now low enough for the man, with the help of the friendly horse, to lasso it and tie it to the ground once again. George was relieved to be back on the ground with his friends. Next time, he thought, he didn't need a hot air balloon to go bird watching. He just needed blueberries. The end. Well, I hope you had some fun today with the letter H. Come back tomorrow and we'll do letter I. Let's see, H-I. Yes, letter I tomorrow. Goodbye, everybody. See you then.